Here's the letter from Joe Jackson with the date and everything for.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So we can get that in a minute, so we can start getting our public defender reimbursement going again.
How far behind are we on
It's just, I think it was December and January they're waiting on. And they'll pay that, I'm sure, just as soon as they get the paperwork.
that? Are you saying in the minutes we need to have the hire date, the name, and the salary?
Yes. And then Patrick was gonna bring, has he been in?
Yes, he
With the
already passed
resolution
that.
for the, okay.
Yeah, I've got it over here.
We
There's
got
two
that.
copies, a copy for you,
I'll
a
have
copy.
the resolution number and then I'll give you a copy.
Oh, that's fine. I
But
just
it's
wanted to
$60.
check it off my list. And then again, the tax sale's at 10 o'clock on Friday, so anybody coming in between.
This week?
Needs to be cash or money orders. If they're coming in to pay before,
Actual number over here.
I don't have anything for you, unless you think that's something.
We need a motion in the minutes for that letter from Joe.
I thought we'd already done that earlier,
I thought we did too, I don't know what wouldn't clear before.
well, I don't think the name, the starting date, and the amount were all in one.
1 minute of the minute.
Well, I guess we'll just say,
Was that a motion, Nathan?
no, I hadn't said nothing yet, I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out what I'm gonna say. Cord Whittick, right?
Yes.
Yep, Cord Whittick is the public defender with a salary of
56.
$56,000, and his hire date was November the 29th, 2016.
So will he'll get some back pay then?
Well, we'll get reimbursement back from the state. It's, they needed it in
He's
the
been
minutes.
getting paid, we just needed it in the minutes in order to get our reimbursement from the
Okay.
state, so.
That's it.
And then we'll be
You think that's sufficient?
good.
Okay.
Yeah, it just has to be mentioned in the minutes.
Is this your letter, you want it back?
No, it's a copy if you all want to keep it.
One meeting, but you need
You think we need any clarification?
We're just now getting this done.
Contract?
Yeah, oh, yeah.
We have the final version of the labor agreement between Massac County and AFSCME Local 2321, which we negotiated at the end of the year and had a temporary or preliminary agreement. The final version has been prepared, and I've looked at it, it's the same terms we agreed to prior to it being prepared. It needs your vote to formally approve the agreement. You want, I can run through some of the terms if you want to give those again, or?
I think so. We all agreed on it, didn't we? At the end. I think we're good with it.
I'll make a motion that we accept the new contract as agreed upon.
I'll second that.
All those in favor say aye.
And each of you to sign it, and then after they've signed it, Juanita, if you could sign on the attestation. There's 4.
You sign this too, Patrick, or just us three?
Just you 3, and then the union will sign.
I got started on the last one. I was wondering why there's 4. Sure, no more than we'll sign.
That's okay.
There's room for everybody.
That's right.
What did they say, Ty?
Yeah, but
Tigers?
they misspelled my last name. Somewhere.
Now you're in the loss for having to spell it.
Yeah.
Been this way for this many years, and you're.
Yeah.
Did one even need to wait to attest till they sign it, or does it matter?
No, she's just attesting your signatures that was approved at the meeting. Wayne, has this got one long name? You sign your name, right, county clerk, beside it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, thought they were better. I'll treat you right. Sure yours got a lot less miles.
Yeah, I guess maybe it does, I don't know.
I'm pretty confident it does. I got
Jason's gonna be stuck in his truck a while. He got two more drivers ahead of him.
230,000 miles. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that's quite a few more.
Yeah.
Pretty good truck.
Yeah, pretty good truck.
I'll take it back.
Sorry.
What happens now, Patrick? I guess you get the union got it. or-
Yeah, I mail them to the union, they sign them, and they keep one and mail us back 3, and I'll get you one.
We're down for a while.
One, you'll keep one, and then,
I can need rain.
Yeah.
okay.
About time, isn't it?
Yeah, it's getting pretty dry.
Right.
That's all there.
Great, February.
Yes.
Because it's retroactive to January 1st.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
This February's been just like February 2012.
What happened?
Drought.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that ain't good.
No. No. You fix the lead, Patrick?
I got one more thing.
Okay. I've got a question. Go ahead.
Okay. Dana had discussed the possibility of raising the sale and error fee to the maximum provided by statute, which is $60. So I prepared a resolution for the board to approve. And
What
I
is
don't know
it
if you
now?
want to discuss it. I believe it is $20 now.
Really?
You know, if you don't want to-
Man,
Most counties do charge, my understanding is most counties do charge the maximum, which is $60. The only people who pay this fee are those who participate in the property tax sale process.
Mhm.
So it is a fee that they bear, which makes sense, because they're the ones that benefit from potentially receiving a sale and error fee or payment.
This helps us offset some other clerical cost of it, correct?
Yes.
We need a motion on that.
Yes, I've got, if you want to look at the resolution, it's very simple, it just says establish the fee at $60.
I've already seen a copy of it, maybe.
I'll second that.
I'll make the motion on, yes, approving the resolution to establish a fee for sale and error fee, $60.
Second. All in favor, aye?
Aye.
And,
Yes, Charlie.
yeah, and when, if you keep one, you just give one to Dana, I don't.
Okay.
sir.
Do you have a question for Patrick?
I did, and you also. Are you still on the 75 board?
Yes.
On down too.
Oh, okay. I was reading in the paper, and I read that Brookport News. And, you know, we were told, we've applied for some grants and supervise and I think even on our own. But it's been 2 or 3 years because we were told that, you know, the state didn't have any money, just couldn't do nothing. Well, I was reading Brookport. They got a grant for fixing that new building they bought for City Hall down the highway. And also repairs. And they got a grant for the fire department for supplies. And I just wondered if that has changed. I mean, do we need to try to apply for some through Southern Fire, or if, when you go, you might ask about it down there?
Yeah, well, she's not there anymore, but
Who's there now?
yeah. I forget her name right now. Lisa's retired.
Yeah, I didn't know, Patrick, if you had heard anything.
I've not heard any more on it. I know they'd come to our meetings that we had about the courthouse and believed at that time said there wasn't anything available, but it can't hurt to reach out again.
Yeah, well, or even other things, you know, the
Right.
Sheriff or Highway Department, whatever.
Yes.
Miss Davenport, I think, is who attended.
That's right, yeah.
She's a
Crystal.
employee there, yeah, Crystal.
Okay.
The time she said, but we can follow up with her.
Okay.
I bet it's been 2 or 3 years ago, hasn't it?
Mhm.
Yeah, 2014 probably.
Yeah, it's 2.5 now. It's one of those things that can't hurt to ask, right?
Yeah.
No. Jason, he's in position down there.
Pull some string.
That's right.
If somebody's involved in a domestic dispute and gets assaulted, I guess you'd say, does the state, as a state's attorney, can you not charge whoever was the offender in that, or does?
Yeah, we can charge whoever is the offender. There may be some reasons why it would be charged. If the victim refused to sign a statement or press charges, we can still charge, but if they're not
You have no
cooperating.
witness, yeah, okay. I was just curious.
As long as there's a police report, essentially the decision will be the state's attorney's office.
Good.
All right. Thank you all.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Here he comes. Look at that stack of stuff he wants signed. First he wants this, and then he wants that.
What you guys out doing today?
They're rained out, so they're sitting in the shop, feet propped up.
Playing cards or something.
The grading and hauling some rock. As you know, you saw what we were doing.
Yeah,
yesterday.
I seen that.
I tried to stay away from the house as long as I could last night, and not answering the phone today. No.
Did y'all put rock in that guy's yard again?
No, I mean, we're basically around our neighborhood cleaning ditches out, so water will get into the ditch instead of just run down the road, and doing it without our broom, and the night before it rained, or the day before it rained, was not too
What you
good
need now
idea.
is a good downpour to wash the road off. Is that what you're saying?
Several good down.
Yeah. Did anyone call you?
I did.
If I was a commissioner and I lived in that neighborhood, I would personally take my broom and sweep it. But I don't live in that neighborhood. so.
I thought about getting my push broom out last night and calling Jason up, and we got to go out there and do that.
I was gonna do it, but it's raining this morning. I brought it back in my truck. It's raining.
The broom that we have, you know, the road sweeping broom that we have,
Yeah.
we don't have the right plumbing for our truck anymore, and we're working on getting it.
Is there such a thing that you could pull behind a tractor or PTO driven one or anything, or?
Yeah.
Well, the one I've got, I
It's
don't
kinda
know
like
about
a hay
PTO
rig.
driven, but, I mean, the one we've got is hydraulic
Yeah.
driven, and we just are
Yeah.
trying to get it piped up to where we can
Do you
hook
use
it to a truck. you
I
know.
don't know that I've ever seen y'all use one. I didn't, it's something not something you use all the time,
Yeah,
is it?
no, not all the time. This is one of the main reasons why we would, or I don't know if they used to in the past or not, but when you oil and chip, and if there's a bunch of extra chips or something,
Yeah,
you
brush
can
it off
sweep
the
them in.
side.
Well, we sweep them to the
Wind
center
drive.
so you can pick them up.
Yeah.
I don't know if we've done that. We haven't done that since I've been here, you know.
We got no problem putting oil chip down, you don't need to be picking it up.
Need more down, not up, yeah, exactly.
Joe, I see those trucks on the road. Would it be an advantage to use that semi or short haul like that? Is it not?
We are.
Oh, you are using semi?
Yeah, I mean, they're just more, I mean, we only have one semi. I mean, we're using the semi in tandems also.
3 tandems,
We're not all, I mean, everybody doesn't haul every day, but I mean,
when you got the manpower.
like today, I mean, they're using the semi and at least one tandem. I don't know how many is hauling today.
I ain't seen the semi, and they just hauling anyhow. Who drives it? Whichever one gets in it.
Today, Donnie Vickers is. Yeah, but exactly. I mean, Steve Pritchett does some.
I didn't know whether they tried to stay in the same truck all the time or just wherever they happen to land.
Well, yeah, I mean, they try to stay in their same trucks, but whenever there's not a problem,
Yeah.
one of our trucks is blowing up again. Hopefully, it's not the entire motor blowing up on it, but it could be.
Injector, you think? Injector, you mean, you think, or?
I don't know what happened to it, and I don't know if we know yet.
Is it missing or will it run?
It just started puffing a lot of black smoke out of it and didn't have any power to even go anywhere under itself. We had to tow it back, and it sounds like it's knocking real bad. Yeah, it could be the entire motor. I don't know. If it is, that's bad. But I don't, we're working on some other things right now. We haven't got to it. That's actually one of our newer trucks. That's just-
Are they all internationals, the tandems, still? That's what I thought.
I mean,
We gotta get some Mac or something, don't we?
they're junk.
No type of warranty on it.
That's past the warranty.
It's got that new type engine too, doesn't it?
You're asking the wrong person on that.
Well, they used to have a DT 466, all of them, and now they went to, when the Larry was there, went to another.
This one is probably like a 2009, but it's our second newest truck.
Yeah.
I think our newest one is 2010.
Oh, there's 6 cylinders still on there.
Oh, I would
think
think
so.
so.
I think so. Because every time, we put injectors in them, we had to get 6 for each truck.
Mhm.
And we just put injectors in that one last fall.
That black smoke. It sounds
That
like,
sounds like an injector down.
sound like not getting enough air. Oh, yeah, overfueling or not
Yeah.
getting enough air.
Yeah.
Or drop the valve. If it's not,
Might be some new turbo, it might have, I
Yeah.
don't know. No idea.
Yeah, good. You know, I had, a brother of mine didn't have any car. And I called Cat out there. And instead of checking the easiest thing, they went to a fuel system, check pressure and all that stuff, worked on it 2 days, doing that. And then they finally put a deal on the turbocharger that showed how much air it was putting in, and it had to have a turbocharger. Well, the turbocharger was $800, and I got a bill for $3,500.
$2,000 worth of diagnostics.
Yeah, yeah. That I thought was what was backwards, actually, but maybe not.
Is there like classes your mechanic has to go to, like continuing ed, to try to learn new stuff, or?
No, it'd be great if there were stuff like that, but I don't.
That stuff changes so fast and there's so many different things that.
Yeah, I didn't know if they offered stuff like that. I mean, most highway departments have their they have a mechanic, right? Most highway departments are being unusual.
It's You know, I haven't really checked. I mean, I think there's some that don't have one, they outsource everything.
Do they?
Yeah, some do, so I don't really know the ratio or how many have one and how many don't.
I just didn't know if there was.
There's a lot, I mean, the thing is, see, we're kind of unique as far as us, you know, several counties around us, because we're this county unit form of government. You know, the other places, you know, majority of the states in Illinois, other than like 8 or 9, I'm sorry, the majority of the counties in Illinois, other than 8 or 9, are all township type form. So they all have different road districts and township commissioners, and they all have their own equipment. You know, they're not like us, where we're the highway department and the whole county has one set of equipment. In some counties, if they have 10, 12 road districts in their county, they've got 10, 12 shops with 10, 12 sets of equipment, you know. So I don't really know how they handle all of that, if they share mechanics, or if they outsource it all, or if they all have their own mechanics, or, I mean, it's, you know.
I just didn't know if, the girls group or association, of y'all, if y'all could send your mechanics, like the training course every so often or something. You know, if there was something out there. I guess everyone uses different brands too, so.
Well, yeah, and
Really good.
the way the Kiso talks, international is like, you have to have security clearance to be able to get any kind of information out of them on these things.
We just reimbursing one,
Jason,
out of the other.
from general assistance, did you just send it in, or when you take that back down?
I just said it right here. I didn't-
Okay, you can take it.
No, I mean,
No,
any of y'all can.
We paid,
Well, I thought maybe
we
just-
paid rock in our stockpile out of
No,
Unit Road.
I think
Yeah.
you want it
And
back.
Oh, does it?
because we put it on these
Whatever you
roads, and
want.
it's part of our motor fuel tax program for this year, we're paying Unit Road back.
Out of,
on the
yeah,
fuel.
okay, that's what I thought, I'm just reimbursing one fund out of another,
Yes.
basically.
That's what that is.
It was requested that you take it back down there.
Huh?
It was requested that you deliver that back down there. She didn't have
She
time.
got a fresh pot, or what?
Yeah. Marshall made some.
Good deal.
Since you won't.
Jason, he's kind of got hoarded over there, he's feeling that.
Well, that's whatever you two decide, I'm just telling you what I was told.
You can have it back. I wasn't for it, I just said it.
I went down and checked that ditch down there, and, they ditched a lot more than just that one spot.
Well, I hadn't been back, it's, yeah.
You know, I guess I have to agree that one spot where you're talking about just south of that second.
Yep.
Is probably a little too deep.
Well, honestly, if they could lower that culvert,
Well,
what's being done needs to be done, it's just gonna be a chore.
That's when we do ditching in some very flat spots like that. I mean, I usually get my level out to see
Transit and check it, or
how,
whatever, yeah.
if we can lower things to, you know, then we do it, but usually we do everything, you know, if we're talking about a pipe that goes under an oil and chip road, we don't really wanna cut that road. I mean,
No,
so we-
well, I think that water needs to go north, and then it would fall off and go ahead and drain, and I believe,
Yeah, I'm not sure, there's a break point in there though, where part of it goes south.
south, yeah. And it's not too far from that pond in the yard,
Right, it may be right in there
you know.
somewhere.
They dug a pond right there in the high spot.
I went out there and looked at it too.
I suspect that's one of them situations where the road was never built correctly when those plots got set, don't you? I mean, it's so flat out there, but
It is.
had they dug before there was any driveways out there, it could have been remedied. Now it's gonna be one heck of a chore.
I would hate to even speculate on that, because there's so many places in the county where the
It's just flat.
ditches have been filled in and it's flat and
Mhm.
it's not deep enough. I mean, I don't understand how it originally got that way in all these situations, so. And that was, you know, I'm just south of where you're talking about the pond is, we ditched some of that last year because they asked us to. That trailer or whatever that is sitting on the corner there runs their sewage out into the ditch, and that's why it stops it up all the time.
it's
All of that-
all the time.
I mean, all that algae starts
Yeah.
growing, and then stuff starts growing, and it flows it up. I mean, you know, when you got ditches that are so low slope
Yep.
and so flat, and people run all their sewage out there, it's impossible to keep things drained.
Well, it'll be a never-ending maintenance.
So,
Just a headache for you guys, just one more on the list.
yeah, I mean, we just, so that pretty much ends up what we end up doing is when somebody calls and complains about it, ditch holding water and need to be ditched, then we put it on the list, call a big order in and go out and ditch it.
About all you can do.
You know, so, you know, if we, I guess, does that person want us to try and do something?
I don't really know. I can check into that. and see.
You can tell them to call me and
Yeah.
just talk to me, and I'll go out there and meet with them, and if they want us to do something, try to help it out or whatever, I'll
Had
investigate
anything
into
been,
it.
had anything been dug on the north side of that culvert that I'm talking about? You know, you got the pond and there's a culvert.
Mhm.
On the north side of that culvert.
That's all been ditched up to the next leg of Forest Circle.
Okay, see, that's been done since I've been out there.
We did some of that last year, but then somebody went back and did it
Yeah.
again. But see, we ditched down Forest Circle quite a ways last summer. And it wasn't a month after we did that, the person that lived, some people that lived there raked all of their leaves in the ditch and left them there. You know,
Some things you just can't fix.
so. I can understand why there's problems and why some people get aggravated, but at the same time, people don't help themselves out much at all. do they?
Well, lots of people don't understand that water falls downhill.
Joe, have you got anybody, qualified to do mechanic work besides the one mechanic? Is any of those drivers, you know, can they help you? Like on day like today, you
Steve
know.
has been helping him a lot.
Who did?
Steve
Pritchett.
Pritchett.
Oh,
I mean, he's not in there every single day, but I'd say 4 out of 5 days, he's probably in there helping the mechanic.
well, good.
Um,
Was that, you know, really, that's a pretty good job for one man. All that equipment.
With the amount of stuff we have to do, yes. I mean, it would be different if everything we had was new and we didn't have a lot of money.
I mean, if all he was doing was greasing and checking oil, or changing oil, or some flat tire or something, it'd be one thing, but
Just
he,
kinda-
every day something major he can get into.
You know, if a guy just on service goes greasy on change oil, time you tighten up this and that and
Find this wrong and it's
change out fittings and
Uh-huh.
won't grease, that's a half day job.
Yeah,
I mean,
if
all
you're gonna
the-
do it right.
All the drivers and operators, when we have to service, you know, graders and stuff, they all jump in and do it. I mean, they don't put us to do all the servicing. I mean, like when we change oil and stuff, everybody helps and does that.
Sure.
When we change tires, everybody helps and does that, so.
That's
yeah.
a sign you got a bunch of good farm boys
Yeah.
out there.
That's where it all be.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, we're really blessed, I guess, as far as that's concerned.
Mhm.
Things run
Everybody
smooth.
knows, pretty much everybody knows the right things to do.
Yeah.
And just jumps in and does it, you know. Yeah. I'm done if you're done.
No complaints this time.
All right.
Have a good one.
Thanks, Jim.
All right, you wanna get together later this
Yeah,
week, or?
tomorrow, we can get together and go to chop up.
Okay.
Well, either that or when you get that swept off this evening.
Yeah.
Bring that up.
It dries
Yeah, we'll
up.
talk about it tonight. That's what we're talking
It
about.
dries up. It dries up, we'll be down this week.
Okay.
I don't think it's gonna dry up.
Sorry.
Done.
How you doing, sir?
Good.
Good to see you again. What's going on?
Well, I just want to come up and clarify something that was printed in the paper.
Okay.
I don't want nothing to be put out there that's not true on my part. And what it is RC Roof Commander's not been in business for 40 years, but the roofing system, Conklin Roofing System has been in business for 40 years. RC Roof Commanders have been in business for just a year. Okay, I just want to clarify that.
I think I understood that.
Well, it was printed in the paper
Okay.
that RC Roof Commander's been in business for 40 years, and
Oh,
Wayne
okay.
Robbins has been in business for a year.
Okay.
RC Roof Commanders is me and my daughter,
Okay.
you know, and I just want to clarify that, you know, didn't want nothing to ever come back and say, well, you know, that RC Roof Commander, he's a big liar, you know.
Right.
He said he's been in business for 40 years and he hasn't.
Right.
I just want to clarify all that. That's all
Okay.
I wanted to do this morning, guys.
I appreciate it.
But, just let you know that, whenever you all get something set up with that engineer, if you would like for me to come in and do another presentation for him, I'd be glad to do that for him.
Okay.
So he's got-
He may have heard of that project.
He may have. Yeah. I'll tell you what, though, I've talked to 2 or 3 engineers that hadn't.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The one that's over, and it may be the same one you're using, over Massac 1 school district,
Mhm.
he hadn't heard of it whenever I talked to him, back whenever they was gonna do the junior high, but we didn't have our roofing license at that point, so I couldn't pursue that one very much, so I had to sit on the back burner for a little bit, but now we got a roofing license, we're insured and bonded, and
Ready to go.
we're ready to rock and roll. Anyway, guys, I just want to come in and let you know that. I just, I don't want nothing, that's untrue put out on my part. Miscommunication or whatever it could be. I want to make sure I clarify everything and let you know that, what's been printed is not true. RC Roof Commanders have been in business for a year, and Conklin Roofing Systems has been around for 40 years.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Thank you
Very
very much.
nice.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it.
Appreciate it.
To let Juanita know, but February 23rd, we got our final abstract back from the state, so we are able to move forward with the tax cycle. Last year, we did it May 9th, so we're about 2.5 months ahead. And I'm already, because of this new tax system, I'm able to roll and start into next year already. So we're out there going to be reassessing and making changes and moving forward, which makes things a lot quicker on my end. So, and then also too, working on cutting the costs on the GIS as well. See if I can get that cost down, maybe about 10,000. I'm looking at streamlining, lining some stuff away from Bruce Harris and trying to do it a little bit in-house. So I can't do it for more reasonable cost.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, I just kind of want to let you know that the tax cycle's on track.
Good
So
deal.
next year, I'm planning on publishing in October, which is the earliest we've ever published. If I can get out there and get all the new stuff picked up and whatever I need to get.
Well, it is. The book still helping
Yeah,
some?
I got them about 20 days, which is, it works.
Yeah.
And then I'm out there all the time, walking around, looking when I'm out and about. So,
How's it work? A house has to be moved into it.
the statute reads substantially complete, and whatever that means.
That's-
If people are in it, I'd say it's
Pretty
substantially.
objective.
Yeah, it is, but, I've had some houses, I've been out there 2 or 3 times, and it's like, they're obviously not finished with them.
So they have to be by the end of the year for it to be on.
I'm looking at the condition, that's why it's so important for me to get out at the beginning of the year,
Mhm.
because I'm looking at it as January 1.
Okay.
So the closer I do reassessments to January 1st, the more accurate I'm gonna be, because there's times I've been out there in May and thought it would have been done, and come to find out it hadn't.
I bet it really ain't.
And I had one taxpayer say, well, why didn't you look in my window? I said, yeah, get shot. Sure, I'm gonna look in your window. I don't do that.
Right.
You know.
I understand.
So, but we're getting the processes more and more efficient. I'm trying to get things online so that we got more updated information quicker. Seems to be going pretty good. And just going to take time to get the records updated online and get the stuff scanned and into the system. But I've had nothing but, for the most part, I've had a few people wishing things were updated quicker, but there's always going to be some gaps there. But
Have you heard anything about Joshua over there?
I don't really want to discuss that right now, Gerald.
Could I come by tomorrow at 11? You had sent me a text.
Yes. Tomorrow at 11.
Is it a bad time for you?
I'm trying to
Wednesday
think.
at 11.
No, Wednesday should be fine.
At 11?
Yeah, that'd work. That'd work.
Yeah, 'cause they got-
If you want to talk about that out of here,
No,
I
it
would be
doesn't.
happy to, but I'm not willing to publicly talk about it.
Doesn't matter, Gary.
Well, I just can't, I'm not willing to publicly talk about that situation.
At 11?
Yeah, that would work fine.
You think we'll be done by 12?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to kind of give you what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing out there and some things going on and just kind of, who knows, we keep hearing there's going to be a budget passed, right?
Talking about the state?
State, yeah, yeah, things that are going on in the state that are.
The monkey might fly too.
Give him wings, and he might. Yeah. Any other questions, concerns? Like I said, I appreciate, if any taxpayers are unhappy, please send them down to me so I can at least try to figure out why.
Okay.
I always tell people, sometimes people don't understand this process, and if anybody needs any help, I always tell people they have rights, and sometimes they need to utilize those rights. We're not always gonna agree on things, but I always try to be reasonable. And somebody can show me something, different than what I have, okay. We'll definitely take a look. But biggest challenge, of course, is still people not getting building permits.
Do you want to talk about Walgreens thing yet, or you just?
I haven't got the appraisal back for it, but I feel very good about the process and showing, because this is an issue. Box stores are an issue in the state of Illinois and getting them assessed properly. And they've been fighting what they call dark store theory, which basically means we're supposed to assess them as if they're vacant and no business in it. And it's kind of like, wait a minute. Kind of goes against value and that methodology of income and all that. So it's going to show, yes, we can't assess it based on a triple net lease, but we can still look at the income and back out that triple net lease out of the value to show that, yes, these things are still worth a lot more than what they're saying they're worth. So, like, as soon as I get that. And then, of course, Lafarge, I guess the Joppa School District filed an appeal with PTAB on Lafarge. I saw that online, but I've never been noticed by PTAB that they had done that.
Do you think, like with Walgreens, do you think their footprint of the building that they usually are in, their footprint's usually similar from location to location?
The thing about it, they're built to suit for business. Mm-hmm. So when you're doing that, you really got to look at, it's not going to be a Walmart. It's not going to be a mini.
I just wondered if you could look at other
we've
counties,
got
there's a lot of Walgreens.
we've got like 45 cells of Walgreens, Rite Aid, and CVS.
Because their footprint usually looks the same.
They're the same. And whether it's a Walgreens or CVS, all you got to do is take off the fascia thing and change it to.
Yeah.
So, but again, a lot of times when you do see a Walgreens, of course, there does not typically happen. The Walgreens typically, if they do close it, they pick the poor location. But most generally, they're in a prime location. Mm-hmm. But even at that, they'll put a restriction on the deed to say, well, we're closing this Walgreens, but we're not going to let Rite Aid or CVS move in. Well, so it's kind of hard to tell, values when you're trying to use one theory but applying a different one. And the tide is turning. They were winning cases. Now I'm seeing where they're not winning these cases so much. As long as the evidence is presented correctly, and we have the appellate prosecutor's office helping us, and that's not costing us anything, by the way. And he's pretty sharp, and I feel very,
When's the decision being made?
It's just going to be it's going to take time. It's going to be a process. Usually it takes 2 to 3 years minimally. But I kind of hope after we present our evidence to the PTAB and Walgreens gets their copy that maybe they'll start backpedaling really fast, because I think the appraisal is going to come in even higher than what I had the value at.
When is the PTAB determination?
It takes a couple years.
Oh, okay. I didn't know if there was a...
No, there's nothing with the government that's like that, that's immediate. But those cases can go on a very long time. But I feel, like I said, I think it's something that needs to be addressed all over the state, not just here. And I hope that we set a precedence on this. I'm hoping.
Okay, well, I'll see you tomorrow at 11.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time. Gerald, stop by anytime.
Okay. All right.
But they had some, this last time they had some, they had the issue with the building they're in, and then they had a local gentleman really spearhead and help fund the campaign, so get it passed.
What you got going on today?
Passing through this morning, a couple things, had in the meantime, we're about to move in our Benton office to a different, smaller place, so we've got that going on. We did have a blower motor go out on our furnace. We went ahead and got it fixed, but didn't know what you want to do about that. What we have in that building are 4 units, furnace and AC in the front. Of course, that AC doesn't work. We've got one in what is the secretary's office, one in the office on the left side of the building, and one in the ceiling and on the roof. That was the one that was the issue. Apparently, the last time it was worked on, they put in a capacitor that wasn't quite up to par, or wired it wrong, and it was lucky to have lasted this long. They replaced the capacitor, hoping the blower motor would make it. Well, a week later, it didn't. Yep. So, I did both those things.
Who fixed it, man?
I'd have to check with Jeremy. I know I signed off on it. He'd had somebody come out and look at it. So I assume whoever he probably had on some other property. I think that was a couple $100. Otherwise, boy, it seems like that's a lot of units for a building that size.
You reckon
They just kept on remodeling, though, that's probably
I
why.
bet, yeah, they had doors shut maybe in
Built
two in one
rooms
part or
here,
something, and I don't know why they. Of course, originally, probably that back wasn't even cooled, I don't guess, where the,
The
Probably
garage
not.
was.
yeah, the garage.
Yeah.
I don't know, but.
And then, still having some water issues on the front side. Just trying to figure out where and
In
why.
the yard, you mean, rainwater?
No, in the front rooms.
Oh,
Um,
those windows?
we had- Well, Jeremy said he was trying to figure out if it was windows between the brick, or wondered if water was sloping up toward the building, and if needs some silicone somewhere.
Lines in on the floor?
Yeah, but he was, he's tried to investigate it and sleuth it out.
Yeah.
But if you happen to see him, he can kind of.
I went by there and looked at it. It could be flat ground there, you know.
Yeah.
Just ain't much drainage out in that country.
No.
Like
And,
that one behind the building won't even drain, will it? There'll be a hole back there.
Yeah, just a pond
yeah, coming off the,
coming off the
Railroad.
both them buildings, railroad, yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, and there's cinder blocks and concrete, so.
The city, you know, put that big pipe in between those two buildings. I believe the city did that. And that was a good, you know, drain those gutters.
Got that part taken care of. Otherwise, what was it, administrative conference in Springfield last week? We did hear from the governor there, we did hear from education officials as we watched that. And then, as you may have heard, our office does all kinds of things, including work for the state fire marshal, where they communicate with us, but we work with them and operate under the building codes in this state. And ran into a little issue after the fire marshal's office actually saw a story and contacted us. But a little issue locally, we had some awfully good people trying to fix something, but didn't quite come up to code, so trying to work through that. But we, as our office tends to do, we stubbed our toe first, and then everybody else is figuring out there's a problem across the state, so we're trying to get a better answer statewide.
Hopefully that will work itself out. That's ridiculous. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, well, again, safety and codes, and making sure also, it's like an analogy I used with the district superintendents around the 1st of February. We had just come off the anniversary of the Apollo 1 fire on the launch pad, and being a little bit of a, I would just say nerd, space nerd, and other kinds too, I guess, and reading up on that. Of course, part of the issues they had that day, just on the pad, where we found out this door opened the wrong way, and these things didn't work, and this didn't fit because they hadn't tested stuff, which is part of what you do with EMA now. That's why you do all the testing. Also, the hatch on that capsule, on a good day, took like 30 seconds to open, and it opened in. The reason it was so hard to open and open in was because on the second Mercury flight, which was also Gus Grissom, that was the one that the hatch popped early, and they ended up with water in it. It sunk the capsule, so they fixed the problem, but that could have helped contribute to, oops, the unforeseen consequences. So that's what all the people involved try to look out for too. And there's a lot of people involved in that, so. Anyway, we're just messengers at the end of the day.
What about the mounted school buses? They gonna put belts in there, or what are they gonna do about that?
I don't know, there are some proposals out there. Riding a school bus to and from school is still by far the safest way to and from school. I know they're concerned about rollover crashes, because at least the straight-on stuff from when we were younger and the seats were still only to here and they had metal bars, and now they're up higher, padded, closer together. The safety's first, but as you know, in everything, there's always a cost and a risk. They've talked about doing it just on new buses. Okay, well, let me back up a second. First of all, just the safety, trying not to overfix something. Everybody's belted. Who's in charge of checking that? Does that mean for the little kids, you gotta have booster seats? Because even in cars, you have to have booster seats until kids are
X amount of pounds.
X amount of pounds, which, that was what, 5 or 6 years old, or something. I remember in kindergarten, one day we had, the windows were down, it stopped and poured. Driver has to stop the bus, shut it down, and close all the windows because we couldn't put the windows up. Now, kids are used to having seat belts all the time in the car now, but, okay, what if a kid can't get loose? What if the driver's incapacitated and they can't get everything loose? So you also think of those things. Or, okay, then you need to have a monitor on the bus to help out.
More
Well,
money.
that's a cost.
Well, do they have a monitor now on all of them,
No.
or none at all?
Maybe some of the buses with special needs kids.
Okay. I'd heard that somebody was on their sign, but maybe.
We've done that, or they might just spot, monitor, or if they're really having a problem with kids on a bus, for another set of eyes. We've done a lot of that a little bit before with our alternative program, but we're also running 20, 30 miles on a route, which is a bit of time. Then you have the issue of, does that mean 3 to a seat or 2 to a seat? If it's 2 to a seat, that's less you can carry. We're already having a shortage of drivers, et cetera. Okay, if it's only for the new buses, we buy 2 new buses this year. They have seat belts. Whose kids get to ride that bus, and who gets to ride the old buses without seat belts?
Always got a problem.
Or they say, okay, and they'll put an exemption, this is only for the daily back and forth to school. Okay, well, 2 topless basketball team about a month ago, on the way to a game passing through Sullivan. They got hit and flipped.
In Kentucky?
No, 2 topless Illinois, up by Effingham. Their bus got hit.
Rolling, huh?
About 3 weeks ago. On the way to a game on a Friday night. And as many miles as those buses put on, I'm surprised that doesn't happen more, but drunk driver. So, do you always take that bus with you on the way? So it's all of that as well. As with anything, we can pay to make it as safe as possible, but there's limits. And as we're short drivers already, and you can't cut down, you should not cut down on maintenance can't really cut down on wages for drivers right now if you can't keep them in the beginning. So that's kind of the,
What is the wage for a bus driver?
About 80 or 100,000 a year.
They wish.
you know, that's a good question. I've never followed
I
that
assume
closely.
they're all hourly, aren't they?
Yeah, they would be hourly. And so I don't know if it's 10, 12, and I may be overshooting. I'm not sure what it is. For
Not enough to put up with that headache.
about a 5-hour day. I guess 5-6 hour day. So, but that goes into too. I mean, shoot, we had a bus hit here. I think one of the last times I was here, we talked about out
Yep.
that direction.
Matter of fact, I think there have been 2 incidents, and one of them was involved with another vehicle.
But there's probably more bus accidents where it's other cars hitting buses, or it's pedestrians walking in front of buses, or those kind of things. And then it's cars, and it's not just teen drivers. It's the mad rush every morning, every evening.
Right there.
Yeah.
And that. That can get you in trouble at the Academy Awards too, apparently, if you
I guess so.
are taking pictures instead of paying attention. So, should be a lesson to everybody who does public events from graduation on down. That's why you check and you check and you check and you check. Anyway. Anything else? Okay. See you again in a few weeks.
Take care, stay dry.
Thanks, Matt.
One semi-wreck just north of Johnson City this morning and a little fog at Goreville, but otherwise, okay so far today. All right.
Hello. Look at them up.
Effort to
Well,
go back and put a
Bam.
total on the bottom of this, I forgot that letter from Joe, but I'll go back and get it and bring it in.
Okay.
Do we need it right now for the, I guess the amount? Let me get it.